the data channel, and you're watching Microsoft Fabric Data Engineering Associate DP 700 course. And as part of the section 1, so and that we are bringing up the topic 4, which is more about DP 700 exam, and like what regarding this DP 700 certification exam, and also what exactly the topics that will be targeted as part of the certification exam, and also what are the skill measures measured in this particular examination, and what topic what is the weightage for which topics. So all those related exam details we will be discussing in this video. Before proceeding, if you are new to this channel, we would recommend you to please subscribe and also press bell button for instant notifications. So let's get started. All right, Microsoft Fabric DP 700 exam topics. So this is a Fabric Data Engineering Associate certificate, right? And as part of this examination, so it is divided into three sections, basically, majorly. Okay, and this you can see here, these are the three topics. So based on these topics, the like the questions will be designed. Okay, so this is one section, this is second section, and this is third section. So the let's see one by one, right? Like what exactly this because the reason why we are saying is so the why these are like section like this is so the questions that comes in the particular section, the topic, the first section here you see, which is implement and manage an analytic solution. So here questions will be around 30 to 35% questions will be coming, or the weightage of the examination will be 30 to 35%. Similarly, for ingest and transform data, you will see 30-35% of questions, right? And monitor and optimize an analytical solution, again here you see 30-35%. So overall, you see, if you see, like it would be around 100% you will be getting. So it might range from 30 to 35% in each topics, but minimum you will expect 30% weightage for each of the sections. So that clearly indicates that all the sections are equally important from the examination point of view. And if you take implement and manage analytical solution, you see configure Microsoft Fabric workspace, right? So in this, basically there is a Spark workspace, and there workspace settings, there is a domain workspace settings, and what exactly the one lake looks like, right? And you can also configure the workflow, the data workflow in the workflow settings, right? And when it comes to the implement lifecycle management in Fabric, so it's more about version control, implementing database concept in the projects, and creating and configuring the pipelines, basically, and also deploying the pipelines. Okay. And other important thing is configure security and governance. If you take example of DP 203 or 203, in that, so as a data engineer, so you are not given more topic or more weightage for these kind of topics where it is security and governance. But when it comes to Fabric, even though it is a data engineering certificate, so you are getting some questions, and you need to be, Microsoft is expecting you to know the security and governance concept. So it might be a workspace level access control or item level access control. Okay. And when it comes to the databases or files, there are different levels, like it might be a row level, column level, okay, access, and at a object level or file level access controls. How do you kind of enable all these levels of accesses, and what is the concept of dynamic data masking, right? And how to implement that. And there is something called as sensitivity labels to the items. So all those cover security and governance part of it. And so when it comes to the orchestration process, so it is nothing but you can orchestrate the data engineering pipelines using data engineering workflow using pipelines or notebook, and a notebook. Basically, it's a combination of pipelines and notebook, right? So how do you design the complete orchestration where the data pipelines will call the notebook, and the end-to-end pipelines actually execute in a particular order and the sequence, right? So that's more about orchestration, and also that includes designing and implementing schedules. So there is a concept of manual scheduling. I mean, it's a normal scheduling and also event-based scheduling. That means whenever a file arrives to the blob storage, or whenever event occurs, right? So that time you want to trigger a pipeline, right? So those are all orchestration process, like different patterns in the notebooks and pipelines, including parameters and parameterizing the notebooks and dynamic expressions. So all those are part of orchestrate the process, right? So this covers basically 30-35% of the weightage, right? And coming to the ingest and transform data, so which is again 30-35% of the weightage is given to the this topic in the examination. So which is where we see design and implement loading patterns. What that means is, so you need to understand the concept of full load and incremental load, right? And also understand the concept of loading into a dimensional model, whether it is a dimensional model in the sense you see like star model, or it's like a fact and dimension tables are there, right? So those kind of models, like you need to implement those kind of dimension models, like what is the concept behind that when it comes to fabric, and also loading a pattern for streaming data. So this is interesting, right? Because here, like streaming data is also given equal importance when it comes to the fabric, right? If maybe it is a designing, or maybe it is in the ingestion, or in optimization, right? So everywhere, so they are covering some part of a streaming data, or they are giving some weightage for streaming data, right? So if you come to ingest and transform batch data, so here it might be a there are many when it comes to the transformation, right? So and ingestion, so it starts with choosing an appropriate data store, what you want to store, right? Where exactly you want to store the data, whether it is in a one lake, or whether you are getting the data from blob, ADLS, synapse, right? Where exactly you want to store the data before and after and during the transformation, and choosing between whether you want to use data flows, notebooks, and T-SQL. Okay, and so when it comes to transformation here, you will be majorly using it might be like PySpark, right? And SQL and KQL, that is Kushta query language, right? So these are the major programming languages that programming or scripting you can call, so which will be used during the transformation. So nothing to worry. So if you're beginner, or if you're having a minimal knowledge, or no knowledge about these kind of languages, you can still continue with the course. Like you can still learn all of these concepts, right? And maybe along with that, so you have grouping aggregation, because you're talking about transformation. You need to group the data, aggregate the data, handle duplicates, like missing values, a lot of data quality related aspects, right? So these are all about, because when you're doing transformation, you have to take care of all those elements, right? It is not just about transforming as per the business need, but it is also need to have a proper data quality checks or data quality implemented using a couple of parameters, right? And next is monitor and optimize an analytics solution. So that's more of a you see concept of like you monitor fabric items. Basically, it might be a data ingestion transformation, like, or it might be some kind of alerts that you enable, right? Or it might be resolving the issues. So when it comes to the production, you deploy the code into production, and there might be issues in the pipelines, data flows, or even streaming, like event streams, or the T-SQL or a SQL query that you have written. So how do you identify those and resolve that? How do you kind of monitor that, especially like in both proactive and reactive ways, right? And finally, you see optimize performance. So here, if you see, it might be optimizing a table in the data lake, and you design a pipeline, right? End-to-end pipeline. You have created a pipeline. It might be a pipeline optimization, or you have a Synapse data warehouse. So basically anything and everything in the Fabric. So Fabric has a lot of Fabric items, right? Starting with pipeline, notebooks, warehouse, right? And that is just a components. Apart from that, you have a developer written codes, which is a PySpark SQL. So at the code level also you can do a lot of optimizations, query optimizations, right? So all those come into the optimization part. But if you have a bird view of this, right? The Microsoft is not just giving weightage from the data engineering perspective. So the data ingest and the transform part is a heart of data engineering, right? It is a major actual roles and responsibility of a data engineer, but they are also giving equal importance to optimizing the fabric elements, resolving issues, monitoring, and also the like data governance and security perspective from the section A, that is module A, first module. This is the first module, right? So they are covering end to end like a end to end flow of the entire the project basically, right? If you see from the data engineering lens, so they are expecting data engineer to have all of this knowledge from end to end, so that they are eligible to take the certification, right? So next we'll move to the next one, right? So here, if you see, like implement and manage an analytics solution, where you're talking about the module one, so that covers 30 to 35% of the weightage, so that we already saw, and we will be having, we can expect 15 to 20 questions from module one. Similarly, from module two and module three also, we'll be expecting 30-35% weightage and 15-20 questions. So basically it is all equally divided. Okay, so you can expect like you cannot skip a particular module here. If you skip a particular module, you will not be able to reach a passing score. So you should cover all these topics. You should cover all that. You should touch up all the topics here, and you should have a good understanding of all these modules, module one, two, three, because questions are coming equally from all the modules. So now we saw, like in the previous slide, it is about 15 to 20, 15 to 20, 15 to 20. Okay, that means 20 plus 20 plus 20. So it's around 60 questions. So totally we are expecting 50 to 60 questions. Why it is 50 to 60 questions? The reason is it is not a fixed number of questions you will expect in the examination. So few candidates might get 52 questions, few might get 57 questions. So it all depends on how exactly you like during the time you are taking an exam, the questions are framed, right? And so in this 50 to 60 questions, there might be around 8 to 10 questions which are which where there will be a real-time use case given. So there will be a paragraph. You read that paragraph to understand the scenario, and then you kind of have like 8 to 10 questions followed, so that you need to answer that questions based on that scenario given. Okay. So, and you need to score about more than 700 marks out of 1000. That means you are expected to score around 70% to actually pass the examination. If your score is below 700, so you will not be marked as passed. Okay, so the certification pass score is 70%, which is more than 700 marks you need to score. So basically, the score is not of importance here. So the importance is, like, definitely the score is important until just for the pass criteria. So, but after that, it doesn't matter, right? So it is like if you score 710 or 810 or 910, still you will be able to kind of a pass a certification. Okay, but more the score you get, you will get more confidence. So that will always be there. So I would recommend you to target minimum 90 to 950, which is kind of a very difficult, I would say. Uh, like most of the students basically who take on and average will get around 750 to 780, right? Getting more than 800 is really tough. Okay, so very rare people get that, and 850 is a very rare score. So in this examination, Okay, and exam duration is 100 minutes. Okay, and what I understand from some Microsoft documentation is they might give some extra 30 minutes only in case of you are taking you don't have option to take exam in the local language. So suppose you are having a particular local language and you don't have examination in that particular local language, so then you can expect 30 days. But this is only, please note, this is only on demand. Okay, it is not like by default they will come and give you. So you need to request them, so they will assess that requirement that you are request that you are placing. So if you are eligible, so then only then they will allow extra 30 minutes, and it's very rarely given, okay, based on the need basis, but it is not for everyone. So keep in mind it is 100 minutes usually. So you need to go with that 100 minutes, and you need to plan accordingly, how to attempt 60 questions in 100 minutes. Okay, and so this examination is conducted by a third party platform from PSN. Okay, and it is and the examination is proctored, and it's not an open book. So please note it is not an open book examination, because you are kind of a monitored continuously using proctored so methodology. So you will be monitored using your camera. So you need to it's not, since it is not an open book, so you need to kind of abide by that. And so the duration we already discussed, it is 100 minutes. Hope this was useful. Thanks for watching.